Sometimes, depending on what part of the house, I can see it on your face that you start looking around, and I can see you start like calculating things in your head. And the worst place to do it is in my closet, and you do that too frequently. And you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's why I actually do that,
I know you do.
but in your closet the most.
I know you do.
Yeah,
Stop.
it's yeah.
So, how did your one-on-ones go this week?
The one-on-ones went extremely well. It's interesting having those one-on-ones because as the time's kind of leading up to it, you're giving some thought to what the agents are doing and how productive they're being. And even though they're being productive in those one-on-ones, sometimes you sit down and you understand, some of the things that maybe aren't being done to where even though they are doing well, they could be doing so much better. So I really think it's important that we do that, and that the agents do that and take advantage of the leadership that's at the brokerage and talk to us and get clarity, because although they feel like they're doing all the right things, asking the right questions, having the right conversations, whether they're leads that they're calling or whether it's in their open houses, very quickly in those one-on-ones, we're both surprised. They're surprised with the things that they're not doing, and then I'm surprised with it as well. But it's good to have that check-in and just continue to get better and better.
Well, it's such a unique experience, which is kind of mind blowing to me because I feel like a lot of brokerages kind of lead with the coaching aspect, or we're here for you. And the feedback that I get from agents is that they've never experienced anything like this before. Having somebody sit down with them, that they don't have to pay extra for, to work with them as a true coach and mentor. And, opening up your schedule each week and giving them the ability to go in and schedule these one-on-ones with you, around their schedule and when's convenient is just, I think, so special. And I love seeing the agents take advantage of that. I love seeing, them take advantage of these coaching opportunities, which is something that, I recently started doing a couple weeks ago with the agents, and that is meeting them out in their open house in a real life experience, and walking through that entire interaction that they have with their open house traffic. Because the thing is, if you're not having those conversations frequently, then they're not going to be good. It's like riding a bicycle. The more that you say the things, the better that you're going to be. And I remember doing an open house with one of the agents. I mean, seasoned agent. She's a rock star. She sells a lot of homes. And after the first group left our open house and had the interaction with me, she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, how do I sound like that? You sound so good, And I told her, I was like, it's just because I've been doing this for 11 years now,
Hmm.
saying the same things and asking the same questions. And, I think sometimes maybe the agents are worried to sound too scripted,
Hmm.
but the more you do it, the more natural it just flows.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. You have to continuously get better at what it is that you're doing, and the way that you get better is just by continuing to do more of it. And it's like what we talk about when it comes to any sort of lead generation activities, is that the first step is just going out and doing it. And then as you continue to do more and more of it, you continue to get better and better and better. But I do think it's important for us as leaders, as well as broker owners, to spend the time with the agents pretty frequently. At least once a month, once every couple of months, to just kind of see where they're at. Have the conversations. Ask the questions as a leader to see how their skill set is, because as productive as they are, once you identify that maybe there's some things that they can do a little bit better, then they just become a better agent, become more productive, and it's a win-win.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to continue to be able to do that with our agents here locally, but I'm also excited to have recently launched this coaching program with my business coach,
Hmm.
Coach Deb. And it is nothing that I ever even saw as being part of my journey, to be honest. As my platform has grown and I have a lot of real estate agents that follow me, I started getting questions about coaching, and I'm like, no, I'm not a coach, but I can refer you to a really good coach,
Hmm.
and I would just refer them to my business coach. And so to be at this point, and honestly, I think what opened my eyes and kind of opened my mind to even experiencing this was when we started talking to Corcoran almost 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And at that time, it was really eye opening for me because it made me realize as much as we've done in the past 11 years, also, I feel like we've barely touched the surface, scraped the surface,
Scratch the surface.
scratched the
Yeah.
surface. And it just made me think, wow, we have all this opportunity with this partnership with Corcoran. What else is out there that maybe I've been putting off because I've just gotten really comfortable in what I was doing?
Hmm.
And I tell my agents that all the time. I tell my friends, like, being comfortable isn't always the best place to be. If you're comfortable for too long, you probably need to start growing and experiencing new things. And this is one of those things for me, is offering now coaching for agents, team leaders outside of my marketplace,
Hmm.
taking all the things that I did to become a successful real estate agent, all the things that my agents here have access to locally, packaging it up and being able to offer it to them.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the great things about, you deciding to do it and just leading up to it is, you've always done a really great job of just sharing information. And you always get that feedback like, man, you're just telling everyone what it is that you do. But I think that in you doing that, people saw the value in what you were telling them to do and giving advice and feedback. And then it was almost like just every week people were talking about how great that information was. And they would start asking about you coaching and doing all those things. And I think one of the things that we have to remember is that, we've been doing this for a little bit. This for us is kind of like day to day stuff. But there's so many agents out there that don't get essentially the things that we get, right, and or what we help our agents get. And it sometimes gets taken for granted when there's so many agents out there that don't have it. So when they hear it and they see it, they want more of it because they're not, again, used to getting it. So I'm excited about what it is that you guys are doing. What do you feel like was the biggest driver in doing it, and what are you most excited about?
Again, I think it was when we started talking to Corcoran and I realized how much larger this was going to make my platform and how many more people across the world that I would have access to help me grow my business through the Corcoran network. And so, having those thoughts, I just really started focusing on, maybe this is something that I'm supposed to do, to be able to expand my network outside of the Houston market and connect with these real estate agents and give them, all this information that they kind of get here and there
Hmm.
on TikTok or Instagram in one place. And I wanted to make it well worth the value. And so it wasn't just about, here are the videos of how to do it, but by partnering with my business coach who has a PhD in psychology, here's why all of this works.
Hmm.
Here's why that prospect is going to react this way when you do and say these things. And then in addition to that, I wanted to supply them with all of the tools, templates, flyers that go with those strategies.
Hmm.
And then I also wanted to be able to have relationships with these people that are, buying into me and my business and my strategies. I want to create a relationship with them. And so offering live Q&As every single month where we can talk through these strategies if they have questions about it, or if something's not working or a certain objection comes up, that I can help them walk through that to obtain that success
Hmm.
that we've seen our agents here
That's
achieve.
that's probably the part that I actually love the most is the live Q&A that you guys are going to do because a lot of times you have people out there that are coaching and they're telling you all the things to do, but there's not a way for you to interact and engage with them in return to kind of explain what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, like essentially being able to have those questions directed straight at the source. So the fact that you guys are doing that, I think is going to be a really cool thing and a little different.
Right. So, yeah, excited about that. Alrighty.
Right.
Nothing. We've just got a lot going on. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I'm
The opposite of that is we have nothing going on, so it's great that we're so busy.
No, it is true. So that's a lot going on. But luckily, we carved out a few days for ourselves last week, which I don't know about you, but it feels like it was a month ago. But a week ago today, we were in Vail, Colorado,
Hmm.
meeting our friends there for a long weekend. And I don't really plan long weekends because I feel like it's just easier to stay home. But it felt like a long time when we were there.
Yeah, I mean, we were there for 3 nights, and it felt like it was much longer than that. But I also think it's just because we don't take enough time for ourselves. We're constantly just in work mode. And even usually when we're on vacation, we're still kind of in work mode. So this past one was really nice when we were in Vail because we really didn't do much work at all.
No, and not only that, but we were with friends that aren't in the business, so we didn't have to talk
Yeah.
about work. And they're great people, but they're also assholes, kind of.
Why you say that?
Well, the fact that you have to ask, your legs must be feeling better. My legs are almost back to being 100%, but they're still pretty sore. Hiking 4 miles was not on my bingo card for 2024 or ever in my life. And I think part of it, what made me agree to it, is because we were going to be going downhill, but that didn't really help any. But I'm glad we got away. It was nice to enjoy the outdoors, and it makes me feel excited, a little bit more excited about our upcoming trip for our wedding anniversary, 25 years.
Hmm.
You formally booked the flights, so there's no going
Yes.
back. We are committed. We are going to be checked out and gone for 3 weeks.
Yep. And it only took me, you know, the entire year to pretty much book it because I booked it only a week ago and we leave in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about it as well. It's going to be a great trip. It's going to be nice to just be away with you for 3 weeks and unplug and just relax as much as we can, have a great time, and then come back to finish the year strong.
I'm smiling. It makes me nervous, though.
What are you nervous about?
Well, we're leaving in about 2.5 weeks to be gone for 3 weeks towards the end of the year to a country we've never been to with business here that needs to be taken care of. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I haven't even thought about packing. I don't even know if I have clothes for Europe. What do you wear?
That's what you're nervous about. You haven't packed. You don't know what you're wearing.
Yeah, well, then I can't overpack because everybody says, it's a little bit more difficult to get around with luggage. So you're going to be lugging all that. I'm trying to be, thoughtful of you. But it'll be fine. It's going to be great. We're going to have so many memories, so many things to talk about when we get back, so many photos.
Yeah, and it's going to be good. Again, we need the time off, and we've got great people back home that's going to take care of business.
We do.